विस्मय
लोके कहे प्रभु देखी हाने विस्मय
ऐचे हे न प्रेम लौकिक कभुनाय
ऐसे हे न प्रेम लौकिक कबूनाय।
Translation: When the people saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing and chanting, they were struck with the wonder, and they all said, such a transcendental love is never an ordinary thing. Text 162. यानारा दर्शने लोके प्रेमे मत्तहाना
यानाहर दर्शने लोके प्रेम मत्त है ना।
हासे कंदे नाचे गया कृष्ण नाम लाना
हसे कांधे नाचे गाये कृष्ण नाम लेना।
Translation: The people said, simply by seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everyone is maddened with the love of Krishna. Indeed, everyone is laughing, crying, dancing, chanting, and taking the holy name of the Krishna.
This is one of the lakshana of a Mahabhagavata. Wherever Mahabhagavata goes, he tries to see that others start taking the holy name. And because of his presence, because of his spiritual potency, people present over there, they start taking the holy name, they start dancing, they start chanting, and they start taking the name of Lord Krishna. Okay, please go further.
सर्वथा निश्चित इनो कृष्ण अवतार
सर्वार्थ निश्चित हेनो कृष्ण अवतार
मथुरा आयला लोकेरा करीते निस्तार
मथुरा आयला लोकेरा करिते निस्तार.
Translation: Certainly Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in all respect the incarnation of the Lord Krishna. Now he has come to Mathura to deliver everyone.
164.
Text 164. तबे महाप्रभु से ब्राह्मण लाना
तवे महाप्रभु से ब्राह्मण लाना
तान हारे पूछिला किछु निभृते वश्या वसिया
कान्हारे पूछिला किछु निर्भते वैश्या.
Translation: After this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the Brahman aside. Sitting in a solitary place, the Lord began to question him. Text 165. आर्य सरला तुम्ही वृद्ध ब्राह्मण
आर्य सरल तुम्ही वृद्ध ब्राह्मण
कहा है ते पाहिले तुम्ही ई प्रेम धन
कहाँ है ते पाहिले तुम्ही यही प्रेम धन.
Translation: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you are an elderly Brahman, you are sincere, and you are advanced in the spiritual life. Wherefrom have you gotten this transcendental opulence of ecstatic love for Krishna?
Please read.
Text 166. विप्र कहे श्रीपाद श्री माधवेंद्र पुरी
विप्र कहे श्रीपाद श्री माधवेंद्र पुरी
भ्रमिते भ्रमिते आयला मथुरा नगरी
भ्रमिते भ्रमिते आयला मथुरा नगरी.
Translation: The Brahmana replied, His Holiness Sri Madhavendra Puri came to the city of Mathura while he was on the tour.
167.
167. Kripa kari teno mora nilaye aila.
कृपा करी तेनो मोर नियायले आयला
मोरे शिष्य करी मोरा हते भिक्षा कैला.
Mora Shishya Kari Mora Hathe Bhiksha Kaila.
Translation. While at Mathura, Sripad Madhavendra Puri visited my home and accepted me as a disciple. He even took lunch at my home.
168.
Gopala prakata kari seva kaila mahashaya.
Gopala Prakata Kari Seva Kaila Mahashaya.
Adya piha tanahara seva govardhanahaya.
Adyapiha Tanarha Seva Govardhanahai.
Translation. After installing the deity of Gopala, Sri Madhavendra Puri rendered him service. That very deity is still being worshipped at Govardhan Hill.
169.
169. Suni Prabhu Kaila Tandra Charana Vandana.
Sune Prabhu Kaila Tandra Charana Vandana.
Bhaya Pana Prabhu Paya Padila Brahmana.
Bhayapana Prabhu Paya Padila Brahmana.
Translation. As soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard from the Madhavendra Puri's relationship with the Brahmana, he immediately offered obeisances at his feet. Becoming fearful, the Brahmana also immediately fell at the Lord's feet.
See, again and again, this is the Vaishnava Sadachara. Lord himself is the epitome of love, and he himself is the Lord. But he is showing the Sadachar how if a senior Vaishnava is there. We know there are three types of devotees: Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari. And here, if somebody is showing the sign of love, it has to have some connection with some great personality. Otherwise, it's not possible that the love will come inside. It is said, if thousands of Kanishta Adhikari comes together, it will make no difference. But if you serve one Uttam Adhikari, that will make a lot of difference in your life. So here Madhavendra Puri's connection is there. And what an Acharya's duty is there. How he, even today, the main purpose of our mission is to establish, a temple in the house, to install deities in the house. So whenever possible, wherever we go, we should see that the house is made a temple. That is one of the missions of ISKCON. Somehow the devotees' house should become a temple where Krishna is the center, Gaurmita is the center. And this is what we see over here, where Madhavendra Puri, he installed deity of Gopala in the house of the Brahmana, and served it. And the same has been worshipped at Govardhan Hill. So, how to behave and how to take blessings. The Vaishnava Sadachar, here we see that Mahaprabhu himself fell down listening to Madhavendra Puri, the word of Madhavendra Puri. 170, please. Somebody else can read now. 10 shlokas we can take. 4 people. Who will read? Please raise your hand.
Yes, Harishanand Prabhu.
Yes, Harishanand Prabhu, 10 shlokas.
Harishanand Prabhu, kindly unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. 170.
170. प्रभु कहे तुम्ही गुरु आम्ही शिष्य प्राय.
प्रभु कहे तुम्ही गुरु आम्ही शिष्य प्राय.
गुरु हय्या शिष्ये नमस्कार न युयाया.
गुरु हय शिष्ये नमस्कार न युयाय.
Translation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "You are on the platform of my spiritual master and I am your disciple. Since you are my spiritual master, it is not befitting that you offer me obeisances."
Again, the Sishtachar, again the Vaishnava Sadachar, we are seeing from Mahaprabhu how one has to deal with another Vaishnavas. 171.
सुनिया विस्मते विप्र कहे भय पाया।
सुनिया विस्मित विप्र कहे भय पाया।
आई छेपत कहे केने सन्यासी हैया।
आई छे बात कहे तेना सन्यासी है ना.
Upon hearing this, the Brahmana became afraid. He then said, "Why do you speak like this? You are a sannyasi."
172.
So,
Again, we
Prabhu, this
see
is
over here one very important quality of a Vaishnava. Amanina manadena kirtanya sada hari. The quality of one of the Vaishnavas is that he never takes man, but he always gives respects and mans to others. And that is the vyavahar, that is the sadachar we are seeing over here. 172.
किंतु तोमार प्रेम देखी माने अनुमानी।
किंतु तुम्हारा प्रेम देखी मन अनुमानी।
माधवेंद्रपुरी संबंध धर जानी।
माधवेंद्र पुरी संबंध धरी जानी.
Upon seeing your ecstatic love, I can just imagine that you must have some relationship with Madhavendra Puri. This is my understanding.
173.
So, Prabhu, this is dialogue between
The Brahmana.
Madhavendra. Okay.
Between the Brahmana who had invited for the prasad and
Ram.
between the Lord and the Brahmana.
कृष्ण प्रेमे ताया हैया ताना र संबंध।
कृष्ण प्रेम ताना याना तानहर संबंध।
कहाँ विना ए प्रेम रस कहाँ नाही गंध।
ताहार विना यही प्रेम कहा नहीं गंध.
This kind of ecstatic love can be experienced only when one has a relationship with Madhavendra Puri. Without him, even a scent of such transcendental ecstatic love is impossible.
Again, we take this sentence in a different way. If we want to have this type of ecstatic love, we should have and serve some senior Vaishnavas. If we take in a reverse way, if we want in our life to have ecstatic love, we have to have connection with some person who is on a Mahabhav stage. I again and again telling you, unless and until we have no connection with Mahabhagavatas or with some senior person, in our life we should have three connections always. One is we should always have an attitude to show daya on the upcoming devotees who have joined this mission. We should show them mercy. We should show them daya. We should try to help them by helping them to increase in their bhakti. Second type of relation that we should be having is we should have relationship with the same people in a friendly way where we can exchange our heart with them. And the third type of relation is the relation of the seva and the blessings, which we should be doing of Uttam Adhikari. Unless and until these three types of relations we do not have, main is to have a relationship with the Uttam Adhikari or some senior person where he blesses us. Because without that blessings, the experience of love or that possibility of love will not come. Without him, the scent of such transcendental ecstasy, love is impossible. Okay, go in text number 174.
तबे भट्टाचार्य तारे संबंध कहिला।
तबे भट्टाचार्य तारे संबंध कहिला।
सुनी आनंदिता विप्र नाचिते लगीला।
सुने आनंदित विप्र नाचिते लगीला.
Balabhadra Bhattacharya then explained the relationship between Madhavendra Puri and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After hearing this, the Brahmana became very pleased and began to dance.
175.
तबे विप्र प्रभु रेलाना आइला निज घरे
तबे विप्र प्रभु लाइना आइला निज घरे
अपना निश्चय प्रभुरा नाना सेवा करे
अपना इच्छाया प्रभु नाना सेवा करे.
The Brahmana then took Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home and out of his own free will began to serve Lord in various ways.
Why he was able to serve the Lord in a various way? Because he had a connection with Madhvendra Puri. He had served the Madhvendra Puri. We see the same thing happened in the life of Ishwara Puri. Ishwar Puri, when Madhvendra Puri was totally sick and he was passing stool and urine on the bed, at that time, personally, Ishwar Puri used to serve Madhvendra Puri over there. And Madhavendra Puri gave lot of blessings to Ishwara Prabhu. And that was the reason Lord chose Ishwar Puri to be his Guru. We see that Srila Prabhupada, when went to US, he had only desire to serve his Guru Maharaj and fulfill the order of Guru Maharaj. He was there for 1 year. And then the thing started to change from the New York store, giftless, matchless gift store. The thing started to change. And when the devotees had been there, and one of the devotees praised Guru Maharaj, you are so great that you came to West and you did all this thing. At that time, Srila Prabhupada started crying and said, no, you are saying wrong. It is not me. It is my Guru Maharaj and Lord Krishna who has sent you to help me. If they had not sent you for this mission, I would be helpless. I'm just an instrument in their hand and I'm doing the work. So here, you get the seva of Lord when you serve the Vaishnavas properly. Okay, please go further.
भिक्षा लगे भट्टाचार्य करेला रंधन
Haribol, which shloka?
176.
Yeah, please read.
भिक्षा लगे भट्टाचार्य करेला रंधन
भिक्षा लागे भट्टाचार्य करिला रुंधना
तबे महाप्रभु हसी बलिल वचन
तबे महाप्रभु हसी बलिला वचन.
He asked Balbhadra Bhattacharya to cook Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lunch. At that time, the Lord, smiling, spoke as follows.
177.
पूरे गोशानी तोमारा घरे करिया चैन भिक्षा
पूरी गोसाई न तोमार घरे करी आंछे भिक्षा
मोरे तुम्ही भिक्षा देह हे मोरा शिक्षा
मोर तुम्ही भिक्षा देई येई मोर शिक्षा.
Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Madhvendra Puri has already taken lunch at your place. Therefore, you may cook and give me food. That is my instruction.
178.
Yajyat Asha Shri Shrestha
tat tat evo itara jana.
Okay. Yajyat Ashriti Shrestha tat tat evata janaha sa yat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartate.
Yadyadacharati shrestha tat tat evo itara jana. Sa yat pramana kurute lokastad anuvartate.
Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standard is set by exemplary act, all the world pursues. Perfect. There is a quotation from Bhagavad Gita 3.21.
That's why it's very, very important that whatever actions we do, other people will follow. 179.
Yadyapi sonodiya haya Saita Brahmana
यद्या यदपसन्धियो हय सीता ब्राह्मण
सोनो दिया घरे सन्यासी ना करे भोजन.
सनो दिया घरे सन्यासी न करे भोजन.
The Brahmana belongs to the Sanodya Brahmana community, and a sannyasi does not accept food from such a Brahmana.
Purport.
Purpose? In northwestern India, Vaishyas are divided into various subdivisions. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur points out that they are divided as Agarwal, Kalavra, and Sanwala. Out of them, the Agarwalas are said to be first-class Vaishyas, and the Kalavaras and Sanavras are considered low due to their occupational degradation. The Kalavras generally take wine and other intoxicants. Although they are Vaishyas, they are considered to belong to a lower class. The priests who guide the Kalavras and the Sanavras are called Sanodya Brahmanas. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur states that the word Sanayoda in Bengali indicates Suvarna Vanika. In Bengal, there are priests who guide the Suvarna Vainik community, which is also considered a low class. There is a little substance between the Sanavdas and the Suvarna Vainiks. Generally, the Suvarna Vainiks are bankers dealing in gold and silver. In Western India, the Agarwals also belong to the banking profession. This is the original business of the Suvarna Vanik or Agarwala communities. Historically, the Agarwalas came from the upcountry named Ayodhya, and the Suvarna Vanik community also came from Ayodhya. It therefore appears that the Suvarna Vaniks and the Agarwalas belong to the same community. The Sonodia Brahmanas were the guides of the Kalavras and the Sanvadas. They are therefore considered to be lower class Brahmanas, and a sannyasi is not allowed to take alms or food from them. However, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted lunch cooked by Sonodia Brahmana simply because he belonged to Madhvendra Puri's community. Srila Madhvendra Puri was the spiritual master of Ishvara Puri, who was the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, a spiritual relationship is established on the spiritual platform without consideration of material inferiority or superiority.
Yeah, again and again, we see that even if a low class, in the Brahmins also there are low class Brahmins who connect themselves with the low class community and they are doing the work. When they take in every Varna, whether it is Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, or Kshatriya, in Bhagavad Gita it is said it is covered by some fault. Some fault. Brahmanas, they accept the dakshinas from this type of people who are doing these wrong things, intoxication, gambling. So some portion of the karma goes to the Brahman for doing their work. And if they are not able to do yajna, dan, tapa, all the 6 activities properly, then their family has to go the problem of that yajma. And that's why if a sannyasi of high class, it is said, they never try to take prasad from such types of people. But when you come in devotional life and you accept and you do the devotion properly, then even a sannyasi, even if you are low class, takes the prasad and accepts you and loves you. Okay, please go further. 180.
Puri, yeah, 180.
Somebody else can read from 180, 10 more shlokas. Who else can read 10?
Radhapati Saka Prabhu.
Radhapati Sakapati, please read.
तथापि पूरी देखी तनरा वैष्णव आचार
तथापि पूरी देखे तंद्रा वैष्णव आचार
शिष्य करी तनरा भिक्षा कैला अंगीकार
शिष्य करी तंद्रा भिक्षा कैला अंगीकार Translation.
Although the Brahmana belonged to the Sanodiya community, Srila Madhavendra Puri had seen that the behaved like a Vaishnav and had therefore accepted him as the disciple. The food he had cooked had also been accepted by Madhavendra Puri.
Yeah, the Vaishnavas, once you become, a devotee of Lord, a real devotee of Lord in the following the Guru Parampara system, then you are above all the caste and creed. But a devotee never thinks himself to be a great. He always thinks to be, the third class person who is fallen down. That is one of the more you are high, the more you become humble. Okay. 181.
महाप्रभु तंद्रे यदि भिक्षा मांगीला
महाप्रभु तन्रे यदि भिक्षा मांगेला
दैन्य करी से विप्रा कहीते लगीला
दैन्य करी से विप्र कहिते लागीला.
Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu willingly requested food from the Brahmana, and the Brahmana, feeling natural humility, began to speak as follows.
182 text.
तुम्हारे भिक्षा दीबा बड़ा भाग्य से हमारा
तोमार भिक्षा दीबा बड़ा भाग्य से हमारा
तुम्ही ईश्वरा नहीं तुम्हारा विधि व्यापहारा
तुम्हें ईश्वर नहीं तुम्हारा विधि व्यवहार.
It is a great fortune for me to offer you food. You are the Supreme Lord, and being in the transcendental position, you are not restricted in any way.
Text 183.
मूर्ख लोका करीबे का तुम्हारा निंदन
मूर्ख लोका करीबे का तुम्हारा निंदन
साहिते न परिमुसे दुस्तेरा वचन
साहितेन परिमुसे ही दुष्टेरा वचन.
Foolish people will blaspheme you, but I shall not tolerate the word of such mischievous people.
Purport. Please read the purport.
Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur remarked that although the Brahmana did not belong to the superior community, they fearlessly chastised so-called caste Brahmana because he was situated on the platform of pure devotional service. There are people who are opposed to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's accepting a Vaishnava belonging to a lower caste. Such people do not consider Mahaprasadam transcendental, and therefore they are described here as Murkha, foolish, and Dusta, mischievous. A pure devotee has the power to challenge such high caste people, and his brave statements are not to be considered proud or puffed up. On the contrary, he is to be considered straightforward. Such a person does not like to flatter high class Brahmanas who belong to the non Vaishnava community.
184. Please read 184.
प्रभु कहे श्रुति स्मृति यथा ऋषिगण
प्रभु कहे श्रुति स्मृति यथा ऋषिगण
तबे एक मता नाहे भिन्न भिन्न धर्म
सब एक मत नाही भिन्न भिन्न धर्म.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, the Vedas, Puranas, and the great learned sages are not always in agreement with one another. Consequently, there are different religious principles.
Perfect.
Unless one comes to the absolute truth, there is no possibility of agreement. Yasya matan na bhinnam. It is said that a great learned scholar or sage cannot be exalted unless he disagree with other scholar and sages. On the material platform, there is no possibility of agreement. Therefore, there are different kind of religious systems. But the absolute truth is one, and one is situated in the absolute truth. There is no disagreement on the absolute platform. The supreme personality of Godhead is worshipable. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 18.55, Bhaktya mam avijanati yavan yas chashmi tattvata. On the absolute platform, the worship deity is one, and the process of worship is also one. That process is bhakti. There are many different religions throughout the world because they are not all on the absolute platform of devotional service, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Sarvdharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vaj. The word ekam means one, Krishna. On this platform, there are no different religious systems. According to Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.2, Dharma projito ketavo atra, on the material platform, religious systems are different. Srimad Bhagavatam describes them from the very beginning as Dharma ketava, cheating religious. None of these religions is actually genuine. The genuine religious system is that which enable one to become a lover of Supreme Personality of Godhead in the word of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6. Save punshan paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshade ahetuki ahetukim bhakti yattam bhuta guno hari. Ahetuki apriyata yatma suprasidati. The supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which man can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. On this platform, there is nothing but the service of the Lord. When a person has no ulterior motive, there is certainly oneness and agreement of principle. Since everyone has a different body and mind, different type of religions are needed. But when one is situated on the spiritual platform, there are no bodily and mentally difference. Consequently, on the absolute platform, there is oneness in religion.
Very, very important to understand the story of Naraji. When Vyasadeva had written so many scriptures and so many, he himself was not satisfied after writing all the 17 Puranas, Vedas, and Tatparyas and everything. Vedanta Sutra also he had written, but he was not satisfied. So it is not expected that anyone who follows, this Puranas and all the other religions, minusing Krishna, will be satisfied. And that's why Naradji came and told Vyasadeva to please write on Bhagavad Dharma, which is the essence of everything. Save punsa paro dharmo yator bhakti adokshaje ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasiddhati. So unless and until such type of dharma is not propagated, other dharmas are called as cheating dharma, because you have ulterior motive for following. You want to go somewhere to Swarga, you want to have to achieve something. But the real dharma teaches us to love Lord without any motive, without any interest. And that is called as the real dharma. Please read 185.
Dharma sthapna hetu sadhura vyavhara.
Dharma sthapna hetu sadhura vyavhara.
Puri Gosai Nira ye acharena sei dharma sara.
Puri Gosai ye acharana se dharma sara.
A devotee behavior establishes the true purpose of religious principle. The behavior of Madhavendra Puri Goswami is the essence of such religious principle.
Perfect.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives the following commentary on this passage. A sadhu or honest man is called a Mahajan or a Mahatma. The Mahatma is described thus by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 9.13. Mahatmanastu tama nama pratha devyam prakritim astrita.
Devim prakritim ashrita bhajante ananya manaso gyatva bhutadi avyayam. Please read.
O son of Pratha, those who are not deluded, the great soul are under the protection of divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. In the material world, the word Mahatma is understood in different way by their different angle of vision. For the conditioned soul busy in sense gratification, a Mahajana is recognized according to the proportion of sense gratification he offers. For instance, a business.
Haribol, you left one line.
Mahajana.
In the material world,
A Mahajana is recognized according to the proportion of sense gratification he offers. For
No,
instance, a
before that
business.
one, you missed out.
Uh-huh. In the material world, the word Mahatma is understood in different way by different religionists. Mundaners also come up with their different angle of vision. For the conditioned soul busy in sense gratification, a Mahajana is recognized according to the proportion of sense gratification he offers. For instance, a businessman may consider a certainly banker to be a Mahajana, and Karmis desiring material enjoyment may consider philosopher like Jaimini to be Mahajanas. There are many yogis who want to control the senses, and for them, Patanjali Rishi is a Mahajana. For the Jnanis, the atheist Kapila, Vasishtha, Durvasa, Dattatreya, and other impersonalistic philosophers are Mahajanas. For the demon, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, Ravana's son Meghnatha, Jarasandha, and others are accepted as a Mahajanas. For materialistic anthropologists speculating on the evolution of body, a person like Darwin is a Mahajana. The scientists who are bewildered by Krishna's external energy have no relationship with the supreme personality of Godhead, yet they are accepted by some as Mahajanas. Similarly, philosopher, historian, literary man, public speaker, and social and political leader are sometimes accepted as Mahajana. Such Mahajanas are respected by certain men who have been described in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.19. Twavid, Varhostra Khariya, Samastva Purusha Pasu, Na Yat Karna Pathapetu Jatu Nama Gadha Grija. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camel, and asses praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastime of Lord Shri Krishna, the deliverer from evil. Thus, on the material platform, animalistic leaders are worshipped by animals.
Yeah. So here, very, very nice shloka is given that the mentality of the men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and ass, they only praise that men who have never listened about the transcendental pastimes of Lord. So there are tamasic category people, rajasic category people, sattvic category people, and all have their Mahajanas. For Tamasi, as we know, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravanas, and today we have, Osama bin Laden, Hamas, and Hezbollah, and all this are there who are Mahajanas for their communities. And for, bankers, here the bankers is given. For Rajoguni people, Mahajanas are big, big businessmen. I say Warren Buffett is a big Mahajana in the stock world, and in the business world, it may be Dhirubhai Ambani, who is a Mahajana for them. And similarly, in Sattvic people, they have Jnanis, they have Yogis, and Patanjalis, they consider them Mahatma. But here the word is given that those who are having the mentality of dog, hogs, and camel, they only praise such type of people. Please read further.
Thus, on the material platform, animalistic leaders are worshipped by the animals. Sometimes physicians, psychiatrists, and social workers try to mitigate bodily pain, distress, and fear, but they have no knowledge of spiritual identity and are bereft of a relationship with God. Yet they are considered Mahajanas by the illusionized, self-deceived person. Sometimes accepted leader or spiritual master from a priestly order that has been officially appointed by the code of material life. In this way, they are deceived by official priests. Sometimes people accept as Mahajana those who have been designed by Sri Vrindavana Das Thakur as Dhanga Vipra, imposter Brahmanas. Such imposters imitate the characters of Sri Haridas Thakur and they envy Haridas Thakur, who is certainly a Mahajana. They make great artificial endeavor, advertising themselves as a great devotee of the Lord or as mystic, hypnotist, knowledgeable in witchcraft, hypnotism, and miracles. Sometimes people accept as Mahajana demon like Putana, Trinavrata, Vatsa, Baka, Agasura, Dhenuka, Kaliya, and Pralamba. Some people accept imitator and advertiseries of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such as Pondraka, Srigal Vasudeva, the spiritual master of the demon, Shukracharya, or atheists like Charvaka, King Vena, Sugata, and Arhat. People who accept such imitator as Mahajana have no faith in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the supreme personality of Godhead. Rather, they accept goddess, cheater, who present themselves as an incarnation of God and cheat foolish people with the material word by word jugglery. Thus, many rascals are accepted as Mahajana. It is those who are devoid of devotional service who sometimes mistakenly accept person with mundane motive as Mahajana. The only motive must be Krishna Bhakti, devotional service to the Lord. Sometimes fruity worker, dry philosopher, non-devotee, mystic yogi, and person attached to material opulence, woman and money are considered Mahajana. But Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.25 gives the following statement about such unauthorized Mahajanas. प्रायेण वेदा तदिदम न महाजना यम देव्या विमोहता मत्रिबता मया यलम द्रव्यम यदि कृत मतिर मधु पुष्पवित्यम वैतिंके महति कर्मणि युजमना. In this material world, karmis, fruitive actors are accepted as Mahajana by foolish people who do not know the value of devotional service. The mundane intelligence and mental speculative method of such foolish people are under the control of the three modes of material nature. Consequently, they cannot understand unalloyed devotional service. They are attracted by material activities and they become worshipper of material nature. Thus, they are known as fruitive actors. They even become entangled in material activity disguised as a spiritual activities. In the Bhagavad Gita, such people are described as a Veda Vadvrata. Suppose follower of the Veda Vadvrata. Suppose follower of the Vedas. They do not understand the real purpose of the Vedas, yet they think of themselves as Vedic authorities. People versed in Vedic knowledge must know Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. Veda is cha sarver aham eva vedya. Bhagavad Gita 15.15. In this material world, a person may be famous as a karma vira, a successful fruitive worker, or he may be very successful in performing religious duty, or he may be known as a hero in mental speculation, Gyan Vira, or he may be a very famous renunciant. In the case Srimad Bhagavatam 3.23.56 give the following opinion in this matter. Neha yat karma dharmeya na vigrahe kalpate na tirtha pad sevaye jivam api mrto si saha. Anyone whose work is not meant for elevating him to religious life, anyone whose religious ritualistic performance do not raise him to renunciation, and anyone situated in renunciation that does not lead him to devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be considered dead, although he is breathing.
Okay, now somebody else can read from there. Somebody else can read from this. There are 2 pages to still read. Who will like to read?
From where we have to read? After the shloka, I will read.
No, the conclusion is that.
The conclusion is that.
Vasudev Prabhu, please.
Conclusion. Okay.
Vasudev Priya Prabhu, you can read.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
The conclusion is that all pious activity, fruitive activity, religious principles, and renunciation must ultimately lead to devotional service. There are different types of processes for rendering service. One may serve his country, people, and society. The Varna Ashrama Dharma system, the sick, the poor, the rich, women, demigods, and so on. All this service comes under the heading of sense gratification or enjoyment in the material world. It is most unfortunate that people are more or less attracted by such material activity and that the leaders of these activities are accepted as Mahajanas, great ideal leaders. Actually, they are only misleaders. But an ordinary man cannot understand how he is being misled.
It's very, very strong statement Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj is making. Very strong statement. That they are misled because all these people are entangling them in karma bandhana. Not a single of these leaders are helping them to cut out their karma bandhanas. We are suffering in this material world because of our past karma bandhanas. All these leaders, which names are mentioned over here, they are not helping any Jivatma to cut their karma bandhana. And that's why they are misleading the Jivatmas. Okay, read further, Prabhuji. Narottam Das Thakur says. Vasudev Priya Prabhu, please unmute.
Vasudev Priya Prabhu, kindly unmute yourself.
I think he exited by mistake.
Excellent.
Prabhuji, from Narottam Das Thakur, you read again.
Narottam Das Thakur says, Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya, Chittete Kariya Ekya. One should accept as one's guide the words of the sadhus, the Shastra, and the Guru. A sadhu is a great personality like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Shastra are the injunction of revealed scripture, and the Guru or spiritual master is one who confirms the scriptural injunction. Accepting the guidance of these three is the actual way of following the great personalities, Mahajana.
Very nice, very nice. So if one has to follow Mahajana, he has to follow Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. If he's following Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, then he is actually following the real guidance of a Mahajana. Please read further.
For real advancement in life, Mahajano Yena Gata Sa Pantha, a man covered by illusion.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vasudev Priya Prabhu has come, I think. So you can tell me.
He's there and he's not unmuting. Maybe busy.
Okay.
His audio video both closed.
Okay.
Man covered by illusion cannot understand the proper way. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Dharma sthapana hetu sadhu vyavadhar. The behavior of a devotee is the criterion for all other behaviors. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself followed the devotional principles and taught others to follow them. Puri Gosanira, ye acharam se dharam sar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally followed the behavior of Madhvendra Puri and advised others to follow his principles. Unfortunately, people have been attracted to the material body since the immemorial. Yasya atma buddhi kunape tri dhatuke swa adhi kalatradeshu bhavana liya dihi yat tirtha buddhi salil na karhichit janeshu abhigeshu sa eva go kharaj. A human being who identifies this body made of three elements with his self, who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsmen, who considers his land of birth worshipable, and who goes to place of pilgrimage simply to take a bath rather than meet men of transcendental knowledge, there is to be considered like an ass or a cow. Bhagavatam 10.84.13. Those who accept the logic of Gadalika Pravaha and follow in the footsteps of pseudo Mahajans are carried away by the waves of Maya Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Therefore, once
Michera Mayar Vase Acha Bhesa Acha Habu Bubhu Bhaya Jivera Krishna Das Yehi Vishwasa Karila Tara Dukha Nahi.
So don't be carried away by the waves of Maya. Just surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna, and all miseries will end. Those who follow social customs and behavior forget to follow the path chalked out by the Mahajanas. Thus, they are offenders at the feet of the Mahajanas. Sometimes they consider such Mahajanas very conservative, or they create their own Mahajanas. In this way, they ignore the principles of the Parampara system. This is a great misfortune for everyone. If one does not follow in the footsteps of the real Mahajanas, one's plans for happiness will be frustrated. This is elaborately explained later in the Madhya Lila, chapter 25, verses 55, 56, and 58. It is there stated. Lila Manohar Prabhu, move it.
Parama Karana Ishvara Kahe Nahi Mana Swaswamata Sthapita Parama Mater Khandena Tathe Chaya Darshana Haite Tattva Nahi Jnani Mahajana Yehi Kaise Satyamani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Vani अमृतर धारा तीनों यही कहे वस्तु से ही तत्व सारा.
People are so unfortunate that they do not accept the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Instead, want to be supported by the so-called Mahajana or authorities. Tate chaya darshana hete tattva nahi jani. We cannot ascertain the real truth simply by following speculators. We have to follow the footsteps of the Mahajanas in the disciple succession. Then our attempt will be successful. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Vani Amritara Dhara. Whatever is spoken by Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an incessant flow of nectar. Whoever accepts his words as reality can understand the essence of the absolute truth. No one can ascertain the absolute truth by following the philosophy of Sankhya or the yoga system of neither the followers of Sankhya nor the yogis who follow Patanjali accept Lord Vishnu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nate vidu swartha gatin e Vishnu. The ambition of such people is never fulfilled. Therefore, they are attracted by the external energy. Although mental speculators may be renowned all over the world as great authorities, actually they are not. Such leaders are themselves conservative and not at all liberal. However, if we preach this philosophy, people will consider Vaishnavas very sectarian. Srila Madhvendra Puri was a real Mahajan, but misguided people cannot distinguish the real from the unreal. But a person who is awakened to Krishna consciousness can understand the real religious path chalked out by the Lord and his pure devotees. Shri Madhvendra Puri was Mahajan because he understood the absolute truth properly and thoroughly, throughout his life behaved like a pure devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved the method of Madhavendra Puri. Therefore, although from the material viewpoint, the Sanodhya Brahman was on a lower platform, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered him situated on the highest platform of spiritual realization. Srimad, make it up little. Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.20 states that there are 12 Mahajans: Brahma, Narad, Shambhu, the 4 Kumaras, Kapila, Manu, Prahlad, Janak, Bhishma, Bali, and Shukdev and Yamraj. To select our Mahajans in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, we have to follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his representatives. His next representative is Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami, and the next representative are the 6 Goswamis: Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Bhatt Raghunath, Sri Jiva Gopal Bhatt, and Das Raghunath. A follower of Vishnu Swamis was Sridhar Swami, the most well-known commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam. He was also a Mahajan. Similarly, Chandidas, Vidyapati, and Jayadev were all Mahajans. One who tries to imitate the Mahajans just to become an imitative spiritual master is certainly far away from following in the footsteps of the Mahajans. Sometimes people cannot actually understand how a Mahajan follows other Mahajans. In this way, people commit offenses and fall from the devotional service.
An entire lecture is given by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, and Prabhupada is writing as it is of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj lecture. Okay, so we'll read 186. Who will read? Somebody else can start reading.
Prabhuji, can I read?
Yeah, please read.
तार्को प्रतिष्ठित श्रुतयो विभिन्न
तार्को प्रतिष्ठित श्रुतयो विभिन्न
नासाव ऋषिरयस्य मतमन भिन्नम्
नस्य ऋषि यस्य मतं न भिन्नम्
धर्मस्य तत्त्वं निहितं गुह्यं
धर्मस्य तत्त्वं निहितं गुह्यम्
महाजनो येन गथा स पन्थः
महाजनो गेन गन्था स पन्थः. Translation.
Prabhuji, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, dry arguments are inconclusive. A great personality whose opinion does not differ from others is not considered a great sage. Simply by studying the Vedas, which are variegated, one cannot come to the right path by which religious principles are understood. The solid truth of religious principles is hidden in the heart of an unadulterated, self-realized person. Consequently, as the Shastras confirm, one should accept whatever progressive path the Mahajans advocate.
Very important statement. How much scholarly you may be, how much you can read Shastra, how much you try to understand on your own, but unless and until you do not serve a Vaishnava, serve him, it is very impossible to understand the Shastra. Very impossible. One has to roll down and serve a Vaishnava then only the sar of all the tattvas can be understood. Without service, it is impossible. Mahajano gato yatha mahajana yena gato sa pantha. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam cha guhyam. The guhyam tattva of the dharma can be only understood when we follow and serve a Mahatma. Otherwise, it's very impossible. Tarko pratishto shrutaya vibhinna. How much tarka we make, it will always be coming on a different platform. By doing tarka, you will never establish any dharma. But you have to serve a Mahatma. Unless and until that is not done, Mahapurusha, then it is very impossible to understand. Very impossible. Very, very important statement over it. 187. Read, Mataji.
तबे से विप्र प्रभु के भिक्षा करैला
तबे से विप्र प्रभु कहे भिक्षा करिला
मधुपुरी लोक सब प्रभु के देखिते आईला
मधुपुरी लोक सब प्रभु के देखिते आईला.
After this discussion, the Brahmana served lunch to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then all the people residing in Mathura came to see the Lord.
Text 188.
Laksha Sankhya Loka aise nahi kaganana.
Laksha Sankhya Loke aise nahi ke ganana.
Bahirahaya Prabhu Dila Darshana.
Bahir hai na Prabhu dila darshana.
People came by hundreds of thousands and no one could count them. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came out of the house to give audience to the people.
189.
Bahut tuli bale Prabhu thari bola dwani.
Bahutuli bale Prabhu hari bole dhvani.
Preme matta nache loka kari hari dhvani.
Prema matta nache loke kari hari dhvani.
Translation. When the people assembled, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raised his arms and said very loudly, Hari Bol. The people responded to the Lord and became ecstatic. As if mad, they began to dance and vibrate the transcendental sound, Hari.
Hari. 190.
Yamunar 26 घाटे प्रभु कैलाश स्नान.
Yamunar 26 घाटे प्रभु कैलाश स्नान.
से विप्र प्रभु के देखाय तीर्थ स्थान.
विप्र प्रभु के देखिया तीर्थ स्थान. Translation.
प्रभु जी लीला मनोहर प्रभु थोड़ा. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed in the 24 ghats along the banks of Yamuna, and the Brahman showed him all the places of pilgrimage.
Very important. Whenever you go to a pilgrim, you should have one devotee to show you. Lord himself is there, but he is taking, the help of the Vipra. Without a guide, that is a devotee guide, if you go on your own in a dham, there are chances that you can make offenses in the dham. You should therefore always go with a devotee who will help you to show the dham. It is said, dham can be seen not by the eyes, but by the ears. And how by the ears? When it is spoken by a pure devotee. So here, that Vipra is there with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to show all the ghats, 26 ghat. And all that 26 ghat is mentioned down in the purport. 24 ghat, 24 ghat.
Purport, okay. Should I read?
No, you can go further. 191.
Swayambhu Vishrama Dirgha Vishnu Bhuteshwara.
Swayambhu Vishrama Dirgha Vishnu Bhuteshwara.
Mahavidya Gokarnadi Dekhila Vistar.
Mahavidya Gokarna Adi Dekhila Vistara.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited all the holy places on the banks of Yamuna, including Swayambhu, Vishram Ghat, Dirgha Vishnu, Bhuteshwara, Mahavidya, and Gokarna.
192.
वन देखी बारे यदि प्रभुर मन हैला
वन देखी बर यदि प्रभुर मन हैला
सैता ब्राह्मणे प्रभु संगीत लाइला
ते ब्राह्मणे प्रभु संगीत लाइला.
When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to see the various forests of Vrindavana, he took Brahmana with him.
Yeah. 193.
Prabhu, 193. Lila Manohar Prabhu.
Yes, Mother.
Sorry, Prabhu. Madhuvana tala kumuda bahulavana gela.
मधुवन ताल कुमुद बहुलावन गेला
ताहा ताहा स्नान करी प्रेम विष्ट हैला
ताहा स्नान करी प्रेमाविष्ट हैला.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the different forests, including Madhuvan, Talvan, Kumudvan, and Bahulavan. Wherever he went, he took his bath with great ecstatic love.
Purport. Please read the purport.
The word Vana means forest. Vrindavan is the name given to the forest where Srimati Vrinda Devi Tulsi Devi grows profusely. Actually, it is not a forest as we ordinarily consider a forest because it is very thick with green vegetation. There are 12 such ones in Vrindavan. Some are located on the western side of Yamuna and others are on the eastern side. The forests situated on the eastern side are Bhadravana, Bilvavana, Lauhavana, Pandirvana, and Mahavana. On the western side are Madhuvana, Talavana, Kumudavana, Bahulavana, Kamyavana, Khadiravana, and Vrindavana. There are 12 forests in the Vrindavan area.
194.
Sorry. पाथे घाबी घाटक चरे प्रभुर देखिया
पाठे गाते चरे प्रभुर देखिया
प्रभु के बेड़ाय सिंहुकार करिया
प्रभुर के बेड़ाय असी हुंकार करिया.
When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through Vrindavan, herds of grazing cows saw him pass and immediately surrounding him began to moo very loudly.
195.
गाभी देखी स्तब्ध प्रभु प्रेमेर तरंगे
गाभी देखी स्तब्ध प्रभुर प्रेमेर तरंगे
वात्सल्य गाभी प्रभुर चाटे सबंगे
वात्सल्य गाभी प्रभुर चाटे सब अंगे.
Seeing the herds approach him, the Lord was stunned with ecstatic love. The cows then began to lick his body out of great affection.
196.
Sushtahaina Prabhu kare anga kanduyana.
शुष्टु है ना प्रभु करे अंग खंडुयाना.
प्रभु संगे चले नहीं छड़े धेनु गाना.
प्रभु संग चले नहीं छड़े धेनु गाना.
Becoming pacified, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to caress the cows, and the cows, being unable to give up his company, went with him.
197.
काष्टे सृष्टे धेनु सब राखी लागोयाल.
काष्टे स्त्रिय धेनु सब राखी लागो हीला.
प्रभु कंठ ध्वनि सुनी ऐसे मृगपाल.
प्रभु कंठ ध्वनि सुनी ऐसे मृगपाल.
It was only with great difficulty that the cowherd men were able to keep the cows back. Then when the Lord, sorry, then when the Lord chanted, all the deer heard his sweet voice and approached him.
198.
One minute, Prabhuji. मृगा मृगी मुख देखी प्रभु अंग चाटे.
मृग मृग मुख देखी प्रभु अंग छाटे.
भय नाही करे संगे आय वाटे वाटे.
भय नाही कर संगे याय वट वाटे.
When the does and bucks came and saw Lord's face, they began to lick his body. Not being at all afraid of him, they accompanied him along the path.
Okay, now we'll stop at 200. 2 shlokas. We'll read and we'll stop. Please read both the shlokas.
Shuka pika bringa prabhu re dekhi panchama gaya.
शुख पीख भृंग प्रभुर देखी पंचम गाय.
सीखी गाना नृत्य करी प्रभु आगे जाय.
सीखी गाना नृत्य करी प्रभु आगे जाय.
Bumblebees and birds like the parrot and cuckoo all began to sing loudly on the 5th note, and the peacocks began to dance in the front of the Lord.
Text 200.
प्रभु देखी वृंदावनेर वृक्ष लता गाणे.
प्रभुर देखी वृंदावने वृक्षलता गाणे.
अंकुर पुलक मधु अश्रु व्यरिसाने.
अंकुर पुलक मधु अश्रु वर्षाने.
Upon seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the trees and creepers of the Vrindavan became jubilant. The twigs stood up and they began to shed tears of ecstasy in the form of honey.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I want all of the people to summarize what we have discussed today. In 10 minutes, we'll do discussion on the main points. Please raise hand what we have learned today in today's discussion of this 40 shlokas. What are the main points which you remember?
One point is, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, that
Yes.
Based on caste, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not discriminate. Even Madhavendra Puri, he did not discriminate. So it is
It was
based
the
on
Vaishnav quality, the Vaishnav bhakti.
Yes, Vaishnav quality.
That matters. You know, that is what is matters. If you know, that's why it is said. Otherwise, how was it possible when Srila Prabhupada went over there? They were all hippies, they were all druggists. But once they came in contact with Srila Prabhupada and they have taken up this bhakti, they are completely purified. And now they are doing yajnas and they are doing many big things. Even the Brahmanas not doing, but they are doing. So what matters is the bhakti quality, right? Alka Mataji?
Yes. And the next point is, they talked about Mahajan. So nowadays people are considering everybody to be a Mahajan. So depending on different, what they are following, some people are scientific or some people are following some other books. So people consider them as Mahajan, which is wrong. So here they are telling that, which person can be a Mahajan. So you can elaborate on that.
Devim Prakriti Mashrita Bhajante Ananya Manso Gyatva Bhutadi Avyayam Satatam kirtiyanto mam yatantascha dradvrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Mahatma or Mahajana's qualities are given in Bhagavad Gita. And Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, in the last paragraph, gives all the Mahajanas list that they are actual Mahajanas, not all these so-called Mahajanas which are created in the society, because they have a swarth and they have their modes. Tamasi has their mode of way of thinking who is Mahajana. Rajasi has their way of mode of thinking who is Mahajana. Sattvic have they all they are taking them as Mahatma because they want sense gratification. There is nothing connected with the soul. There is nothing connected with the karma bandhana. And that's why they are not actual Mahajana. They are misleading the society. Mahajana's definition or Mahatma definition is clearly given in Bhagavad Gita. Satatam kirtiyanto mam yadantascha dragata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasati. These are Mahajanas. Yeah. Anybody else wants to take any point? Daya Murari Prabhu, Padmavati Sivika Mataji, and who else is there? Daya Murari Prabhu.
Two of them. Yeah, two of them are there.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, in today's what are the main points?
Yeah, so Prabhuji, one of the points what we discussed is that one has to have an association with Mahabhagavat,
Yes.
especially the Uttam Adhikari. And you know, it's so important for one to have an understanding of the scriptures. And in the entire discussion, one thing was very clear that so-called Mahatmas, which we discussed, that people in general, like even Gandhiji was termed as Mahatma, right?
Yes.
Based on, and then there is an example of 4 animals given, like camel, dog, you know,
That type of mentality people only consider this type of
and
praise.
yeah, right. And to be very honest, Prabhu, you know, the reason they believe in it because they don't have the mercy of the Uttam Adhikari or the spiritual master to understand the importance of the Mahajan and the scriptures, the essence of the scripture they are unaware of.
Yes.
And just probably just one more point to add, you know, one of the class I was listening to, given by His Holiness Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Swami Maharaj, he said that, you know, we many times we take our spiritual master for granted in our
Yes.
lives, but we don't understand that, you know, the spiritual master is the one who has actually given us 5 gifts. And you know, he mentioned the 5 gifts, like he said the first gift he gives us the Harinam. Then the second gift he gives us is he introduces us to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, you know, the people, when they don't know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is no question of understanding the scriptures or the essence of whether it is the Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavatam. So there is absolutely no way they can understand who is the Mahajan. And then he says, you know, the spiritual master is the one who introduces us to the 6 Goswamis and the Parampara. Yes, sir. So he says that, you know, he's the one who introduces us to the 6 Goswamis and the teachings of the Goswamis. So without understanding all of this, there is no question for anybody to understand you know, the who all are the margins and who should be called as margin. That's more important than anything else. Because that's how in today's world people use Bhagwan as a very common word, where the Bhagwan means only the supreme personality of Godhead, but nowadays everybody says he is God, he is God, I am
Unless
God.
and until you do
You are
not
God.
serve a Mahajana, Uttam Adhikari, how much you do association with Kanishta Adhikari or how much you do with the Madhyam Adhikari, it's not going to help you. There should be
Correct.
some seva of Uttam Adhikari in your life.
Yes. So these are the main of the points which even Srila Prabhupada says that although you may be Jnani, you can be one of the very highly intellectual person, but unless and until you don't serve the Vaishnavas and the Uttam Adhikari, there is no way we can understand the level of knowledge.
The scriptures essence could not be understood.
Correct.
Padmavati Sivika Mataji, what do you like to add?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. So,
Your sound is less.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you hear me?
No, sound is very less.
Now can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yeah, okay, continue.
Yeah, so we spoke about different religious dharmas which people are following nowadays. So anyone who follows a religious dharma in which Krishna is minus and never satisfied, then he will never be satisfied. And these dharmas are actually cheating dharmas. because they are all on the material platform and people do not have a common agreement among themselves. The real motive of any dharma is to teach us to love the Lord unconditionally and without any ulterior motives. So Lord is considered to be supreme absolute if we follow a proper Vaishnava or a proper spiritual guru or Shastra. And if we are not serving any Vaishnava, we will never understand the Guyam Tattva, which is lying in the Shastras.
Yeah.
And also, whenever you're visiting a dham, you have to be accompanied by a Vaishnava or a devotee, true devotee.
Otherwise, you will do aparad.
Yeah, otherwise we'll do aparad, and dham is to be understood by ears. It is not to be just seen with our eyes. So one should accept Shadhu Shastra from disciplic succession. Only then you will actually understand the truth of the Vedas.
Yes. Very nice.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Anything else anybody would like to add, which has been missed out?
Prabhuji, at the beginning, we discussed about making the home as the temple.
Yes. It's the mission of ISKCON. It's the mission of all acharyas that the house should be made as a temple. Unless and until house is not made a temple, our mission is not complete. The devotional life is not complete. Anything else? Anybody? Okay. So we can wind up, Prabhu, now?